Democrats are bringing out their biggest closer, former President Obama, to give candidates a boost. He headlined rallies in New Jersey and Virginia over the weekend where he took jabs at President Trump.
The point is, there is absolutely no evidence Republican policies have made life better for you, the people of Virginia.
I'll admit, it's worse than even I expected, but I did warn y'all. I did. The fact is, the truth is, right here in New Jersey and all across the country, there were plenty of people who voted for Trump and the Republicans anyway.
Despite Obama's criticism, Republicans believe they have a very good chance of flipping New Jersey's governor's seat red. A Fox News poll shows Democrat Mikey Sherrill leads Republican Jack Ciattarelli by 7 percentage points. But some believe the race is tighter than that, giving Democrats the jitters.
The numbers in the vote by mail and early voting look very, very good. And, you know, having President Obama here last night was kind of icing on the cake for a hard-fought election.
Obama said you're sucking up to Trump.
Who said that?
President Obama.
President who?
Yeah.
I hope the Democrats continue to make the same mistake over the next 2 days they've been making for the past 4 months, talking all about Trump and blaming everything on Trump. The people of New Jersey are smarter than that. They want solutions, and that's exactly what we've been giving them every day on the trail.
In Virginia, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger's lead over Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears is wider. Democrats hope anger over the firing and furloughs of federal workers will galvanize voters. But Earl Sears has cast Spanberger as a radical, especially on issues like trans students using bathrooms of their choice.
This is what they are attacking, not just our economy and Virginians and their livelihoods, but the service to our country that they bring to bear every day. And we need a governor who, despite all of the bad policies coming out of this White House and this Republican-led Congress, we need a governor who will work to mitigate every harm.
They don't have momentum because none of the things that my opponent Abigail Spanberger says make sense. She wants men in locker rooms with our young girls. She wants to tax us. She says she's going to increase our taxes. She's going to kill jobs. And then, of course, we know she's not going to keep us safe because she's soft on crime.
In New York City's mayoral race, the leading Democrat candidate, Zohran Mamdani, is using every opportunity to get out the vote, even heading to a nightclub past 1 a.m. on Sunday to rally supporters at a Halloween party in Brooklyn.
Are you ready to win this race? Are you ready to beat Andrew Cuomo? Are you ready to make history? It is an honor to be the first mayoral candidate to ever be a Papa Juice.
Sorry, honey. We can't afford that this week. I'll try to save more.
Got the top gone and the gold chain swinging. Pockets stay deep like the beat I'm bringing. Rolling with the hurt, yeah, the ghost stay blinging. Sun in my face while the bassline singing.
Jerry, where's my new Cole? I thought we'd have a new Cole. Klein's like, don't say it. Don't say it. Nope. I saw that Cole. Jerry, what's going on today, Jerry? We're going to talk about Food Stamp Mageddon. We were going to call the show Snap Mageddon. Kind of like a Thanos show, right? But, ladies and gentlemen, it just didn't fit in the title. so we're just going to call it that in the chat. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We have a monster show today and a bunch of big announcements. It's going to be a very exciting week. Today's Monday, November 3rd, 2025. The first show of November. Come on, boys. Trump administration to drastically reform SNAP after thousands of illegals removed and arrests made. This is spooky season. Hey, Alex, we do have a JD Vance meme section of the show. Is this correct? If not, then boys, you better build it fast because we gonna need that because we had spooky season and it is spooky season for Democrats. It continues into November. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump responds to Dilbert creator Scott Adams' plea to help save my life by expediting cancer treatment. Hogan Gidley and Representative Jeff Van Drew join the show. And JD Vance, ladies and gentlemen, breaks the internet. More to come on that and more to come this week as we will be in Auburn on Wednesday with Eric Trump celebrating the anniversary of President Trump's third term. as president. It's already in third term. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the anniversary of the Trump victory. We'll be doing it in honor of Charlie at a massive stadium in Auburn. Please go and get yourself some tickets if you'd like. Link in the description. It's going to be a fantastic turning point event. Eric Trump, Laura Trump, the next governor of Alabama, and yours truly rocking it in the stadiums. It's going to be awesome. Link in the description if you want to sign up for tickets. We want to pack the stadium. We've been packing stadiums from coast to coast. You don't want to miss this revival moment, and it happens this week. Finally happens this week. I was there with JD Vance last week. Man, that energy was spectacular. Boys, get me the JD Vance memes. I got to give them to the people. Let's freaking go. Christian Care. Man. Dude, my family has been on Medishare. This is the family plan that we use for healthcare. And my neighbor was over on my porch this morning, and she was like, yo, the Obamacare premiums are going up like 17%, 20%, and we just can't afford it anymore. We just can't afford it. And we got massive problems. And so I'm like saying, maybe you should try Medishare. I mean, I straight up told her this morning on my porch, like, this is what we use. It's Christian care for people that take care of themselves, that are ideologically aligned, like-minded, and who lead, let's just call it what it is, healthy lifestyles. What happens on Obamacare is you subsidize the most unhealthy individuals, the most degenerate individuals in all of America. And we're going to talk about some of them. A lot of them are on SNAP. But you are already subsidizing them through all of these corrupt programs, and you continue to subsidize them through Obamacare. So it should enrage you, and you should break out of that system. Medishare helps you do that. More than 1 million Americans are now on Medishare. It's a great option. They've been around for more than 30 years, and you can save thousands of dollars per year on healthcare. It has helped us so much. We've had multiple babies. Having babies is very expensive. Unfortunately, it should be free, actually. Like, we should want more Americans, more legal Americans born here. And I got to tell you, like, they have really, really helped my family. So anyway, I truly believe in this product. You can make the switch today. If you want to know more, the two easy options, go to Medishare.com/Benny and call that's Medishare.com/Benny, or send a text and you'll get info and really help you and your family out. Text the word Benny to 70246. That's the word Benny to 70246, and you'll get the link. Data and message rates apply. Okay, so we're going to talk about how spooky things got with our SNAP benefits. Going, see ya, sayonara, and some of the major problems in our country. But since it was Halloween and we haven't been live since the great JD Vance meme-mageddon, I want to tell you that we were right once again. So we were right once again, and we predicted what was going to happen. This is the prediction video, please, Klein. I told you all that JD Vance was going to go as the JD Vance meme. I told you this because I asked JD Vance about this on Air Force 2. And I know that there are a lot of things going on in the world, but I'm also an emissary of you. And the internet was raging, demanding to know if JD Vance was going to go as the famous JD Vance meme. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of JD Vance memes. Please get me the side-by-side, boys. There's a lot of JD Vance memes, but there's one that is in particular. It's JD Vance, a lot more heavy set with like this 80s rock star hair, wearing a periwinkle blue shirt and a pink tie. And I told you what was about to happen. So I like being right. I'm not going to apologize for it. We are professionally right on this program. If you listen to this program, you're often 2 or 3 weeks or months ahead of what the news cycle is going to be. We have predicted these things time and time again. Mike Davis was on our program. Dude, if you had just been betting in Polymarket, you would have been so rich. Mike Davis was on our program saying Letitia James's fat ass is going to prison. He was telling you, he was signaling to you what was going to happen. And lo and behold, where does Letitia James find herself now? She is in the first of many indictments that's going to happen for Letitia James. And so here we were last week, 72 hours ahead of the actual news cycle, telling you what's going to happen with JD Vance.
Today I asked JD Vance point blank what his Halloween costume was going to be, because I've seen the speculation online, and well, we all want this to happen. And JD Vance told me this. Stay tuned. The internet is going to love this. The internet is going to love this. Ladies and gentlemen, your first meme lord vice president. Get ready.
Okay. So we predicted it. Now, JD Vance started the day by posting the "Can you hear the screaming" meme. Like, I can tell you that JD Vance told me that this meme is his favorite, and that he loves the "Can you hear the screaming" meme. It's there on the list. ALX sent it. Decline. I don't know. How did we miss this, boys? How did we miss it? I know. Can you hear the screaming it's very spooky. It's very spooky Halloween style. There it is, Klein. There you go, buddy. I got you, buddy. Don't you worry, pal. I'm here for you. This is the first meme that JD Vance posted, and everyone thought, okay, he's just gonna post, he's just gonna post memes. Nope. No, he's going to go as the freaking meme. Then JD Vance turned into this. There you go. This is such an embrace of internet culture, such an embrace of the joke. Don't we need this? Don't we need more people that can actually take a joke? This is called self-deprecating humor. This means you don't take yourself too seriously. You just kind of roll with it. So, you just kind of flow state through all the attacks. This is what you want in a leader, and this is what you want in somebody who's going to be trusted to make good and wise decisions. You can't have people that can be persuaded or trolled or culled into cuck behavior. And so this is taking a step back. This is a big leadership quality to be able to just laugh at yourself. Keep going, Klein. Now, go, Klein. Go. Here we go. Now Klein's ready. How do we miss this block, boys? I don't know. It's because we move too quickly. We're always looking ahead, never looking back, but whatever. Here's JD Vance's beautiful family. Here he is with his kids. There he is, walking with a meme hair on. And he made videos. Let's go. JD Vance actually did the "Say Please" meme, and this is obviously what he said to Zelensky: "Say please and thank you." Go.
Happy Halloween, kids, and remember, say thank you.
Do we have the side by side? If we don't, that's the one thing that I'm going to absolutely demand, because there's the meme. You don't ask questions of the internet. It just works the way that it works. Producers, I'm not moving on in the show until we get the side by side. We're not moving on in the show until the audience gets like, I need JD Vance. Nope, I need him spinning. Not moving on until we get it. That one's really good. Put that up until we get it. Thank you. I think we might have actually. No. There's better versions of this. No. I want you need to see what JD Vance has actually done here. So this is the energy. Nope, that's not. I need it in real time. I know the producers can do it. I can't believe that we're here, but we're not moving. We're not moving on until we actually get it. We're gonna be here all day. We're gonna be here all day. So I need the actual, the JD Vance spinning, the side-by-side of JD Vance spinning, and then the actual meme of him spinning around. So, yeah, that's right. The prophecy has been fulfilled. So this was it. And again, sorry that we're building this live with you guys. We do all this pre-production for the show, and I completely missed the whole opening block. And this was the most important thing. This is the most viral thing that happened the entire weekend. There we go. Thank you. Is the full-on embrace of what the left thought was an attack on JD Vance. They said, we're going to make fun of you. We're going to make you fatter. We're going to give you male pattern balding. We're going to give you this funny hair. We're going to give you this funny, like, these goofy eyes. And JD Vance like, oh, I can own that. And that's actually how you take the sting out of every attack. As you prove that not only does it not bother you, but you're in on the joke. It's a wonderful quality for our leaders. It's a wonderful quality to have in life. And it makes for delightful internet content. So there it is. I don't know why this was famous. I don't know. This is what he's doing here. I don't know why this was famous, the 3D rotation of JD Vance, but that's what he's doing. So when he does that spin, this is what he's trying to replicate. You've never seen it before. Oh man, it's dark internet theory. It definitely works. And well, we're just very proud to have been first to this important news. Here it is. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I think it worked out great. I think it worked out actually great. At some point, you like end up forgetting. You've seen so many JD Vance memes. You end up forgetting what JD Vance like actually looks like. There we go. This was him and his family, and I don't know who that is. Maybe his Secret Service agent was dressing up too. Yeah, I'm not sure. But there we go. Is this what JD Vance looks like? And like nobody even is sure. Like, what does JD Vance actually look like? This is very scary for libs, by the way, because this is the kind of energy that ended up winning. They can't control this. Everything that they do and everything that they say is shrouded in lies and in insecurities. And, well, this is just authenticity and owning it. And so we have nothing to hide. We are here to grab the energy. Ladies and gentlemen, the left is here to absolutely hide what they're doing in our nation as it pertains to some pretty alarming numbers that we're now learning about SNAP, about Social Security benefits, about how many terrorists are in this nation. I think we're just scratching the surface on what the Biden administration has done and what horrors they have wrought on our nation. And there is a rot in our country. And these blue states are now hiding information from the Trump administration. The Trump administration is trying to find out how many criminal aliens have been given Social Security cards, how many criminal aliens are on welfare benefits. If you cut the benefits, you'll cut the illegal aliens. They'll go home. If they're not it's too expensive to live here. And if you cut the benefits, then they'd have to actually like go perhaps pay taxes, buy their own food, support their own housing, and they just can't do that. They would self-deport by proxy. The first initial numbers from Doge was actually where you started to see some real scary results in some of the data processing for what is going on with criminal alien numbers. Here's Social Security numbers issued. See if you find a problem in some of this data.
When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, a notice to appear, which is to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges, benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. Right. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered.
Probably could find a better clip there, ALX. But nonetheless, the data is still readily available. Just this cursory dive into the data shows 1.3 million criminal aliens already on Medicaid, 5.5 million criminal aliens receiving benefits, an enormous number of them on voter records, registered to vote, and voting. They actually did vote. And of course, we have voluminous examples of criminal aliens voting in our elections. And then one of them, mysteriously running right back to China, a Communist Party member voting for Kamala Harris and then running back to China, was arrested, was charged by the DOJ, and then was able to sneak out of the country. Truly disturbing. The voter fraud is absolutely terrible. You've been deceived, robbed, extorted, and blackmailed. It cannot be overstated how much Democrats depend on criminal aliens, a fake population of America, a fraudulent and illegal and criminal population of America, to maintain power. And they do it in three ways. One, congressional reapportionment. The way that the census is counted is you count the number of persons. You don't ask their immigration status. You count how many people live in each district. So it is incumbent on Democrats to pack as many criminal aliens into their districts as possible. But that's hard because they're human beings. And so you have to have magnets. You have to have incentives to bring them in. If you don't have the incentives to bring them in, then they'll go somewhere else. This is why here, more than 41,000 voters' registrations don't match driver's ID database. State data shows in Wisconsin. 41,000 in Wisconsin. Isn't Wisconsin a swing state? Didn't Trump win Wisconsin with less than 41,000 votes? This is insane. Did you hear what Kristi Noem said? 6,000 illegals on the terrorist watch list were given Social Security numbers. 6,000 terrorists are here getting welfare and Medicaid and EBT and SNAP and then voting. What Trump win by? How many votes? Tell me. What? I can't. Yeah. Okay. So that's less than 40,000. So there's 40,000 criminal alien voters, or at the very least voter registrations that don't match driver's license and ID database in Wisconsin. We lost a Senate seat in Wisconsin by like 10 votes. How many of them were illegals? The level of fraud that is being committed right now in our nation by Democrats based on criminal alien populations is the single most existential threat to our republic. You cannot have a representative democracy if the people that are voting in your democracy are not citizens of our nation. You cannot have social nets that are there for the protection of American citizens if they are being so wholly and roundly abused as to entice criminals to certain districts and certain localities in order to rig the electoral slate. And you cannot have free and fair elections if you have even a single illegal vote. A single illegal vote. So the Chinese, let's just take like the easy top line example, get me the Chinese kid. The Chinese kid that votes in Michigan for Kamala Harris canceled your vote. Are you watching from Michigan right now? Did you vote for Trump? Do you know that a dirty communist from China who fled, then was able to flee back to China when he was charged by the DOJ for illegal voting, was allowed to cast a vote for Kamala Harris? Here's the DOJ filing. That person canceled your vote. You work here, you live here, you pay your taxes, you work your fingers to the bone, your neck is snapping, your neck is breaking, you just want to be able to vote for Trump, you live in Michigan, you're in a swing state, things have gotten tougher and rougher, you have kids, you're bought into the system, you pay a mortgage, you file your W-2s with the IRS, you're just trying to grind out a life for your children. It's backbreaking, it's hard work, 2 weeks of vacation a year, and you vote for Trump because you're pissed. And some little Chinese kid who's a member of the Communist Party is able to vote and cancel your vote. His vote counted, the same as yours. Are you pissed off? He canceled your vote. Here's his photo, I think. He's a member of the Communist Chinese Party. He was able to flee the country on a secret visa before his court date. Should have been in jail for 10 years for voter fraud. His vote canceled your vote. This communist canceled your vote. Now take that out in mass, at scale, in blue states and red states. It happens in red states. It happens in every state. Pull up the heritage voter fraud map, please. Every single state in the union, in every single state in America, including every single blue state, currently has active voter fraud pending cases for every election. Many of these states, you can see Minnesota here, that's because of the Somali population. That's just a matter of fact. There's so much voter fraud that happens in Minneapolis, I would argue that Minnesota is probably a red state. At scale voter fraud in Illinois, North Carolina, another hotbed of it, Texas, huge illegal alien population in Texas because they want to flip Texas purple. It happens in every state in America. These are just the people you catch. How many criminal aliens voted in California? It's illegal to ask people their voter ID in California. It's illegal. You're not allowed to do it. How many criminal aliens voted? I can show you. You want to see it? You want to see it? Check this out. SNAP benefits sent to California. In 2019, it was $5 billion, dollars. In 2020, it was $7 billion. I'm going to round up. So in 2019, it was $6 billion. 5977. In 2020, it was $8 billion. 7822. And in 2021, it skyrocketed to $11.2 billion. Oh, okay. So it doubled. It doubled in 3 years. It doubles. What is that? That's California bringing in millions of new residents. The data makes no sense. The data makes 0 sense. This is California bringing in millions of new residents. What is that exactly? Democrats call them newcomers. What is that? These are criminal aliens that are brought magnetically to California because they can vote. They can apply for these benefits without anybody questioning them. And they have full protection of the state. An obscenity. Fiscal year 21 numbers on newly established SNAP recipients claim make California look like it's living in an alternative universe. Look at this. 250,000 new SNAP recipient claims in California alone. That's in 1 year. and no fraud claims. California is lavishing criminal aliens with goodies. But if you look again, if you don't give them good, if you can't survive. You can't come here from Somalia and survive. If you don't speak the language, you have no work permit, you have no infrastructure, there are no family units supporting you, you have nothing, you can't make it here. You need to have government subsistence. You must have it. Go back, Klein. Go to the explosion of SNAP benefits under the Biden administration. There you go. Thank you. And you know what? If you chart the actual spending on SNAP, you'll find that it goes hand in glove with what? The open border. You'll find that it goes hand in glove. Swipe over, please, Klein. With this. A one-to-one tracking. Democrats are paying criminal aliens to move to their state, using your tax dollars to do it, and using a fraudulent system through the states to funnel payments to illegals to stay there so that they can get extra numbers in the census and also get illegal votes. There are 21 states that are refusing to send their SNAP data to the USDA. The USDA is asking, you need to send us all of your information. Who's receiving federal benefits? Now, my question is very simple. Why would the federal government give any of these benefits to any of these states? And of course, you'll see here, they're all blue states. There's not a single red state among them. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota. Michigan is a red state, but it's run by Democrats. Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, also a red state, but run by Democrats. Vermont, Virginia, and Washington, D.C., of course. Why wouldn't Washington, D.C. be sending that? I mean, that's like a federal city. Trump's technically in charge of Washington, D.C. Well, Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture, was on explaining why this is happening, saying that they have created fraudulent incentives using federal tax dollars in order to keep criminal aliens in their state, to use magnets to bring criminal aliens to their state. Go.
Day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with Doge and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits. It is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away and we can serve the American taxpayer.
Stephen Miller. Democrats are currently suing the administration with the full support of Democratic judges to demand no citizenship checks on food stamps, no citizen checks on Medicaid, no citizen checks on voting. Do you understand they've created a fake country? This isn't the country that you look at today, the blue states that you look at today. the map right here. That's not actually your country. It is so much redder than that. You are so much more in the majority. Democrats have cheated and rigged the system with goodies paid for by you, with a gun to your head, proverbially, from the IRS. Pay your taxes or else you go to prison. And we pay our taxes so that Democrats can take that tax money, lie to the federal government, break the law, hand that money over to a Guatemalan, a Haitian, a Nicaraguan, an Afghani. I don't know. I don't care. Somebody who doesn't belong here, somebody who's not an American. These benefits are not intended for anyone other than an American. EBT, SNAP, welfare, housing, Section 8, Obamacare, Medicare, Medicaid, a full suite of social safety nets. Being abused for what reason? That criminal alien, that family, makes another family in their congressional district. Nobody wants to live in these hellscape districts. Nobody wants to live there. They all leave. That means that when the census comes around, those states lose power. Get me the census map, please, from the AP. Those states lose power if they don't have enough people in them. Now, Democrats are already looking at a historic loss of electoral college votes, something that will put the presidency, I think, out of reach for a very long time. California and New York are set to lose 3 or 4 seats each. States like Texas and Florida are set to gain seats, 3 or 4 each. And they're looking at a tough map. You're going to have you're going to have a lot of really bad election nights for Democrats. They have to try and get through 2028. They have to desperately try and rig things in 2028. That's their only hope. Because after that, it's doomsday. That's what the projections show, and those projections might even be low. I want the electoral college map, please, from the AP. Thank you. It's an extra benefit. No, I want the ones that have projections for 2030 after the census, please. It's a extra benefit if those criminal aliens are also voting in elections. If they have fake Social Security numbers or real Social Security numbers that they all share, and then they are able to vote for Democrats, are able to vote themselves goodies out of our treasury as they're here illegally. Democrats have to maintain as much of the system as possible because doom awaits them. This is what doom looks like for Democrats. This is not going to be pretty after the next census. Counts what has happened in blue states. There is a crisis brewing. And after Americans start realizing what's been happening to their benefits, why the nation is actually bankrupt. The nation is bankrupt because of this. Listen to this.
Look at that motherfucker.
Look at these.
Look at that motherfucker.
Look at these grocery carts. Filled and packed to the brim with some of the most. They're like they're laughing and bragging in your face. They're rubbing it in your face. Some of the most, jokes on them because these are some of the most toxic and poisonous food products out there. How these are available on SNAP, I don't know. But your average Americans are starting to see this and say, well, hold up. I worked for 36 straight years paying into the system, and I get $800 a month. Do you think these carts are $800? No, these are thousands and thousands of dollars of groceries. You never see anybody who's paying for their groceries walking out with carts like this. Never. You never see that. And Americans are starting to take note.
In front of the Social Security office trying to figure out why I only get $876 a month on Social Security after working 36 years and 10 years off and on, but 36 years straight, and raising 5 kids, and now I get $876 a month. What is that? To be continued.
What is that exactly? Let me explain. Democrats have been using these systems to pay off their voters and to F over and screw over people like that lady. People who actually pay into the system. People at work. This has been a massive handout for votes in order to keep people like this happy for
it's like
generations.
Too, you know what I'm saying? I get my shit on the first. You know what I mean? I'm first of the month around this bitch. But it's the second, and I just went to go peek, and I'm like, you know, maybe they would have gave a little sprinkle. My bad. Them gave shit. I done took my ass to this HEB that they just built over here in Rockwall or whatever by my house. First of all, that bitch is packed as hell. Beautiful store, real nice shit in there, you know, deals out the ass. But I couldn't indulge because I ain't got no yamps. I just spent cash money on 5 items out.
So let me translate here, please, because translation is necessary. This individual is explaining that she has to pay for her own beauty supplies with her own money and is upset about it and is griping because the government didn't put money in her card as she sits in what looks like a new car with with expensive hair products and braids, nice looking clothes, and clearly hasn't missed a meal in a very long time. She had to use $20 of her own money to actually buy a beauty product. I still got mother effing bills to pay, she says. I'm not trying to spend that on food. I'm supposed to be getting food stamps. Well, Benny, you know, they're like people with children on food stamps, okay? You should chill out, all right? You know that only 28% of SNAP households earned any income at all? So 72% of SNAP households decided they just refuse to work. They're not going to work. Only 34% of SNAP households had children. So again, you have 70% of SNAP households that have no kids. They're just here to freeload, to provide nothing, do nothing, sit around, smoke weed, play video games, and sit in their cars and make TikToks, complain about how they have to spend their own money for the first time in their lives. These are not people struggling to feed their families. It's a voter bank. It's a voter bank for Democrats. People are sending videos of totally empty Walmarts and totally packed, totally stocked shelves. This is making another massive point that these programs are actually just massive government handouts to big food, big retail, to make some of the most ultra-processed and unhealthy foods imaginable and get them to fly off the shelves into packed shopping carts for people like this. Here's a special clip out of New Mexico. New Mexico, a state that refuses to give the federal government their SNAP data, a woman complains that she's been on food stamps for 30 years. Here we go.
The first thing I did was grab my phone and call, and when I heard $0, my chest went into my throat.
Maggie Aragon has been a SNAP recipient for more than 3 decades. Even with these benefits, she says she also relies on food banks to get enough food.
I have depended on those benefits since the 1990s, and it's detrimental to my life if I don't get them.
There are more than 460,000 New Mexicans using SNAP benefits. Tonight, some of them telling us they don't have those right now. Friday, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $30 million in state funds would be used to supply SNAP users starting November 1st.
We're going to choose feeding families over politics in New Mexico. We're going to do that right now.
That woman is able-bodied enough to stand and do an interview, go to the store, complain, but she's not able-bodied enough to go get a job when you have like a massive workforce shortage in America. We don't have a workforce shortage in America. We have a willingness to work shortage in America because we create programs that incentivize fatherlessness, broken homes, lazy bastards that want to pay nothing into the system and get their entire lives, their houses, their full grocery carts paid for. And we allow it. There's no such thing as a worker shortage in America. It's not biblical. It's the opposite of biblical. Proverbs say that if you don't work, you don't eat. If this keeps going on, they're going to riot. And what I find is particularly fascinating about this is that rioting is a very, to riot, you have to be very able-bodied. To go flip tables and to go raid shelves and stuff, you have to be really, you have to have some physical capacity, man. You really do. You got a good physical shape, right, to riot. It's pretty exhausting. Haven't tried it myself, but I've seen the videos. You know, you can tell. If you're able-bodied enough to steal and to riot, aren't you able-bodied enough to go work? Where the hell are the work requirements here? Again, the entire program needs to be halted. The federal government needs to change standards, and everyone needs to be forced to reapply here. This is a societal question, and it's also a moral question. You shouldn't make a country where people don't have to work and they can have their entire lives paid for by those who do. I am sick of spending half of my wages on people that refuse to work. Not that they can't work. Refuse to work and then rub it in my face. Strangely, there's a man named John Fetterman in the United States Senate who's allegedly a Democrat from Pennsylvania saying exactly this, and then saying that Democrats are the actual problem here in this government shutdown. Here we go.
Deeply distressing to know that 42 million Americans are going to lose their SNAP benefits. And now that's one of the big reasons why I refuse to shutting our government down. And again, I feel like the Democrats really need to own the shutdown.
Democrats own the shutdown, huh? 59% of households headed by illegal immigrants receive welfare. 59%. Wild, ladies and gentlemen. What is that? How can we continue? You can't. You can't. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we're going to be joined by somebody who can really speak pretty authoritatively on this issue and perhaps what changes need to be made. But first, an item that is not available on EBT or SNAP. 120 Life, something that I use on a daily basis to assist in my high blood pressure, something that I have after doing shows like this. High blood pressure is a massive problem in this country. It's something that doesn't just affect me, it affects about half of Americans. And well, in this business, you got to make sure that you're managing it, but managing it not with a bunch of like pharmaceutical cocktails, but with actual all natural raw ingredients. That is why I drink 120 Life, and that's why it's trusted among healthcare professionals. For a limited time, try 120 Life and save 20% off. Use the code Benny at checkout for 120life.com. 120 Life offers a risk-free trial and a full refund if you don't see lower numbers in 2 weeks. Go to 120life.com and use the code BENNY, Benny, to save 20%. Not to lose, but your high blood pressure. It's really been helpful for me. The drink is also very delicious. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This entire thing pisses me off so very much. Hogan Gidley is a Republican strategist and somebody who worked for President Trump, works very closely, obviously, with Republican leadership all across Washington, D.C. I feel like it's time to actually get something done on this. Hogan joins us live now. So Democrats are able to just hide these SNAP benefits from the federal government and get away with it. Is that true, Hogan?
I mean, the proof would suggest that's absolutely accurate. And I think one of the things you're hitting on here is why Americans are so angry. These programs are targeted. They're for specific things to help people. It's SNAP. It's supplemental. It's the first word in the acronym. And these people have been using it for decades now. And we're starting to see the silver lining being a complete audit and evaluation of these programs that under Democrat control have been allowed to fleece the American people for hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
We're close to $1 trillion we're over $1 trillion since its inception. And now people are going, wait a minute. Much like the Medicaid conversation we had in the One Big Beautiful Bill debate, when you take people off of the program that don't deserve to be on there, who aren't citizens of this country, or who, as you just point out, can work and refuse to, they are cheating the system. They are taking it away from Americans who need it and deserve it. That's what this whole thing has been about. And you're starting to see the spotlight shine on the malfeasance, the targeted abuse of this program. And there's only one party to blame. Excuse me, both parties are to blame, but one party is going to step up and fix it. And that's the Republicans.
Okay, here we go. Here's a graph right here. Households headed by illegal immigrants have an extremely high rate of welfare use. What's going on here, Hogan? This makes me enraged. So there's absolutely no test here as to whether you are an American citizen to receive. I mean, this is as egregious as voting. So if there's 60% of criminal alien households getting welfare from the taxpayers, then you have to assume that the number's even higher for the number of illegal alien households voting. Because it's actually easier to just go vote, especially in states with no voter ID, than it would be to apply for welfare benefits.
Of course. And we see this rampant fraud, waste, and abuse across the government, whether it be Social Security, whether it be health care, whether it be SNAP. All of these things now are starting to be exposed. You're seeing the light shine upon all of these abuses in the system. And you're wondering, wait, we're spending this much money that American citizens make, that American citizens give to the government, to people who do not need this or deserve it. This is a significant and serious problem that has been going on now. I mean, it expanded under FDR in the 60s. It just exploded, of course, and more people got on the program. But you see this across government. Now, if you want to allow states to handle some of this, if you want to let churches and synagogues and other religious entities kind of step up and play a more significant part, which they should, of course, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But as you know, the left thrives on government because government is their God. And so whatever power they can give to the government, regardless of who it hurts, if you're an American citizen, they'll do it because they want to keep political power over the people, keep them smashed down, keep them, dependent upon the government when they don't need to be and sure don't deserve to be. Not to mention the scab you're picking here is how many people from other nations are in this country taking American benefits, being paid for by American taxpayers in an American nutrition assistance program when they're not American. It is absolutely egregious.
Doesn't it obviously befall Republican leaders to immediately fix this? Isn't this the single greatest insult to those who buy into the system? Why would anybody invest here? I'm talking on behalf of all the young listeners and all the young people that come up to me at these events, Hogan, and they, you and I were both at the JD Vance event at Ole Miss. And this is your alma mater, correct? And there's all these young people coming up to me and like, why the hell would they ever buy into the system? Why would these people buy a house? Why would they get a job? Why would they pay their taxes if some Haitians are just going to be able to like come over and live much more royally than them? You can get lobster and caviar on food stamps. We've covered this. You can get truffles. You can live like a king off food stamps, and nobody and your entire life is paid for. Your rent, your medical care, Well, like, that's how you create generational nihilism, actually, is people see that. They see what happened in Springfield, Ohio, and they say, this is a broken culture. Might as well, like, black pill.
Yeah. But I have to say, much like the southern border, where Democrats let in 10 to 20, 30 million people illegally and unlawfully, much like crime rampant in our city streets, much like the economy, we're paying more for gas and for groceries. Republicans came in and fixed it all. Don't worry, we got you. The same thing applies here. They allowed this system to explode. They allow people to abuse it to the tune, as I said, of hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions over the life of the program. Don't worry, we'll step in and fix it. But the first thing you have to do is expose it. And right now, it's a messaging war with people saying, I'm going to die without it, as opposed to the conversation being, okay, fair, but what do you need? What do you deserve? And are you even legally allowed to have it? And as you just said, you don't need an ID to vote. You don't need IDs to get all of these government programs. You don't need an ID to get Medicare, Medicaid, but you need an ID to buy liquor. Quite confusing, to say the least, and hypocritical. So all these things that have failed in the past, it's like this administration has come along, and with Trump now with the wind in his sails, he is moving quickly, going, all right, the politics be damned. I want to fix this for generations to come. And even though the first wave of this is going to be maligned by the media, mocked and derided, the fact is, eventually this is going to right the ship, and the people who need and deserve it are going to get it. And those who are abusing the system, both Americans and non-Americans, are done. We're not dealing with that anymore. That's going to take some significant guts. And I'll tell you, the one man who has them is Donald Trump.
So I think you can do like a step-by-step process. So I think like you start step one is you take all the criminal aliens off of all welfare benefits. It's illegal, right? Like this is you have to be an American citizen to get these benefits. Is that correct, Hogan?
Yeah, but Democrats don't want to do that. You see, this is the.
But they're federal dollars, and we control the federal government. So this seems like a pretty obvious.
No, we will. No, I understand. We will. We're working.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a very cold in Washington D.C. right now. We got a frozen Hogan. We hope that Hogan can unfreeze, and if that is the case, then we'll continue the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, nonetheless, why not jump in and tell you about Patriot Mobile? Patriot Mobile, obviously, the cell phone service and carrier of our show, a show that relies heavily on connectivity and the ability to make sure that we lock and load. This is happening a lot, Klein. Like, what is going on here? Like, this is happening like every couple of guests. It makes me very frustrated. Producers, we're gonna have there's got to be like a way to figure this one out. We got to contact, like, I don't know, is it StreamYard? Like, we have to talk through it. Anyway, the point is that we're at least connected. We use Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the only conservative Christian wireless provider. For over 12 years, they've stood for freedom, free speech, and conservative Christian values. You'll enjoy the exact same or better service on Patriot Mobile. Make the switch today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Benny for a free month of service. Make the switch today, patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT. Do we have Hogan back? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Jeff Van Drew to talk to us about the election in New Jersey, which is just hours away. We have Jack Citarelli on the show last week, and Jack is making waves. Jeff Van Drew is a famous member of Congress who actually switched parties in New Jersey. There's nobody better to speak on this issue, and he joins us live now. Thank you, Congressman. We look forward to speaking with you about the race in New Jersey in just a moment. Hogan Gidley, we lost him, and so if you don't mind, I'd just like to continue the conversation quickly about welfare benefits for criminal aliens. There's obviously welfare fraud for American citizens as well, but at the very least, would you be in favor of Congress ensuring that none of the treasure of the American people gets feted out to criminal aliens as goodies to vote for Democrats and to move to Democrat districts?
Of course, I would be in favor of that, and so would the very vast majority of Americans. I mean, here's the deal. When we're wasting money like that we're hurting our own American people, whether they are legal immigrants or whether they are people that have been here for 10 generations. The point is, it's wrong, it's breaking the law. And even with the Medicaid argument, when I spoke to President Trump a number of times about Medicaid, and I've spoken to him about the issues we're talking about today too, and it's working with a scalpel. So should we just end all SNAP? No. A lot of our voters, we are a new Republican Party, conservative and populist at the same time, caring about working people. And people do hit bumps in the road now and then, but it's not meant to be a permanent subsidy. It means that you're helped for a little while, you get back on your feet, you're working, and then things return to normal. We've made it a way of life, number one. Number two, we're giving it to people illegally. And that was the deal with Medicaid. Think about it. They still, the left likes to say that we cut Medicaid, that we took millions off. It's so inaccurate what they say. It hasn't even started yet, number one. Number two, no, we're still taking care of the seniors, still taking care of the disabled, still taking care of people that have certain illnesses and diseases and so forth. We're helping people. We're doing what Medicaid should do. But what we're not doing is saying that you can be some 25-year-old healthy guy that's just drinking beer and doing drugs all day and get Medicaid. That's wrong. And by the way, when they say how harsh and mean we were, think about this, Benny. All that we said was, if you are receiving Medicaid and you're able-bodied and healthy, you either have to work 20 hours a week. Man, my whole life I worked a lot more than 20 hours a week. Or you've got to make sure that you're trying to increase your education, get your GED, get your college, whatever it is, online, and prove that you're doing. Or volunteer for 20 hours a week for any kind of a good charity. I mean, you can pet dogs at the Humane Society. For God's sake, we couldn't have been easier about it, and we're accused of being draconian and horrible. No, we're trying to help. We're trying to help American people, good, working, decent people who are getting ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're looking at a 90-10, maybe a 95-5 issue if Republicans just said, yeah, we're just going to stop putting criminal aliens into the United States Treasury to plunder it. I just like because there's seniors out there that are like, wait a second. So there's some Haitian with $20,000 on an EBT card, and I get $800 a month. I worked 40 years. I broke my neck and my back for this country. I bought in. I got a mortgage. I raised kids. I sent them to school, and this is all I get. And somebody who's never been here, somebody who's not illegal, somebody who's a criminal, is sitting there living. You can get caviar. You can get lobster tails. You can get truffles on EBT. And a lot of them are, and they're rubbing it on our face, Congressman, and TikTok. We've played a bunch of the TikToks this morning.
Think about how good
it's an insult.
Working, decent Americans and retired people and seniors feel. There really are older people that live only on Social Security and are doing their best and worked hard their whole life. Many of them served our military. There are good people. And then they look at this. These new people coming in, and not all of them, the people who are coming in legally are decent people. We're talking about a different group of people. They've been indicted or convicted at their country of origin or in the United States. Some were on the terror watch list. Some were guilty of violent crime, committed violent crime. They hate America. They say, we don't like America. We hate it. Oh, but by the way, we're going to rip you off. We're going to take your food stamps. We're going to take your clothing. We're going to take your travel expenses. And yeah, you know what? Just for the hell of it, we're going to take some courses at a college. And for those states like New Jersey that are sanctuary states, the state may very well be paying for it. Meanwhile, hardworking middle class people who are trying to support their kids and trying to do good things and send their kids to college the right way are getting more and more in debt. Come on, that's wrong.
Totally wrong. So final question on this, but you've been on both sides of the aisle. You know Congress very well. I don't know which term you're in, Congressman, but
I'm in my 7th year, my 4th
year. So that you know spring chicken, you know the way around Congress. What would be your solution here in order to tell the American people, especially young kids, that you're serious about fixing this problem? Because what you're going to do here is you're going to black pill young kids. You're going to make them nihilists. They're not going to believe in the system if it keeps running this way. People are just going to cash out. They're just going to say, I'm not going to buy a house. I'm not going to start a family. The system's totally rigged. against me. And I'm, got to be honest with you, I'm like sick and tired of paying half my income to criminals who, I'm just talking the illegal aliens right here, and we can handle the American citizens. The American citizens that are committing fraud are a totally separate and important conversation, but maybe like start with the first thing first. Like I am paying half my income away from my children, my American children, in order to fund illegals living lavishly who hate my country and hate me. What a sick system that is, Congressman. What should happen to fix it now?
Number one, you're right. I want young people to love America. I know even in, my political organization here in New Jersey, we've got so many new young people that are tired of it. They're tired of these old ways. They're tired of these old liberals telling them what to do and that they've got to give up most of what they do in their life for people that don't deserve it. You're right, number one. Secondly, what do? We work with that scalpel. I'm a dentist, so I like to use sometimes medical terminology. We work with that scalpel. Do we just completely remove SNAP? No. There are people that need it, that are on it for a while, and then do well in the world and move on. But do we qualify it? If you're illegal, it has to be clear, number one, if you're getting SNAP, that you have to be able to prove your citizenship. Not a big deal, picture ID, etc. That's why, by the way, the libs love trying to say, yeah, anybody can get a driver's license because it's a form of ID. They're trying to make that more difficult to do. But we can do that. There are various forms of presenting ID. You're not legal. First of all, if you're not legal, you should be detained, go through due process, and then deported, period. That's the answer to that. And then for everyone else, even if they don't go through that process, which they should, but again, if they're in places like New Jersey, they may not be sometimes. We've got to make sure federally that we qualify what we give people. You have to be a legal American, a legal law-abiding American. And we can do that. We did good work with Medicaid. The media doesn't speak about all that, we did in Medicaid in Congress. The House worked really hard on it. And again, we made sure that it was much better, that we weren't just giving it away. We need to do that with SNAP. We need to do that with the ACA. It's good. Again, we're populist, conservative Republicans. We do want to help our people.
Yes.
And help them to move forward in life, but not to plunder and waste our money. And the horrible part of it, and you brought it out, is that these people the people we're giving money to laugh at America, hate America, commit crimes in America, and we give them stuff. There's no sane or insane country in the world that would do that.
Yes, it's totally debasing. It's actually a practice in humiliation, and it's self-debasement. And it's run, these are systems set up by people that really do not like Americans. They really don't like the native population of this country. They despise them. And you can see it in seniors getting, a couple $100 a month after paying into Social Security for 40 years.
Yep.
And again, like gangbanger from Guatemala can go load up his EBT card for $30,000 and go sell it on the streets of, Los Angeles. It's a perverse system. It needs to change. It'd be really nice to just message that to people, that that Republicans care enough to go and change that. I know that that's working in New Jersey. I know that the people of New Jersey are saying, we're sick and tired of having leaders that aren't from New Jersey. Mickey Sherrill isn't from New Jersey. They don't care about the rights of people of New Jersey. And I think that's why Jack Ciattarelli is looking pretty good in this election cycle. Can you give me an update, Congressman?
He is looking good, and we're working hard on it. In fact, little update, we decided today, President Trump and I are having a town meeting tonight at 7:00, and I hope a lot of folks from New Jersey will be listening to that. If Jack just gets let me say this, President Trump got the most votes in the state of New Jersey of anybody who's ever run for office. That's an interesting fact that people don't know. If Jack can just get 2/3 or 3/4 of that, and that's what we want to remind those Trump voters, they've got to vote and work for Jack Ciattarelli. If they care about Donald Trump, if they care about me in Congress, they've got to do this. It's really important. And yes, he is doing well. It's looking good. And the reason it is, you pinned it right on the head. And, it's very simple. We are sick and tired of it all. Sick and tired of open borders being a sanctuary state. And we're funding those open borders because in New Jersey, we'll help you with your clothing, your transportation, your housing, possibly education, whatever else it is. Murphy declared it a sanctuary state. They're tired of our schools, the things that are being done to our schools, where kids are told, and funding in New Jersey can be based on this, that these kids are told by administrators in the school they don't have to talk to their parents, that they can change their sex, their name, and their pronoun. I spoke to a young man who's now in high school yesterday, just yesterday, that he was talking about. He's now going to private school, but the school he was going to, they had a litter box in the back, and there was a young kid using it. I mean, it's bizarre. How about biological men competing in women's sports? Murphy supported that. Mikey Sherrill supports that. It's wrong, and it's degrading the women who've competed so hard. We've dashed the dreams and hopes of women who've competed in sports. I don't know. Do you want me to go on and on? I'll give you the list. The energy costs in New Jersey. It's gone up everywhere, energy. We closed down 6 gas plants. We closed down a coal plant, closed down a nuclear plant, didn't replace it with anything, tried to jam up wind turbines down everybody's throat, industrial wind turbines. Nobody wanted it. I was fighting it for years. President Trump came in, we worked together. He did it. It wouldn't happen without him, an executive order to stop it. But meanwhile, we wasted billions and billions, not millions, billions of dollars in subsidies to foreign corporations for wind turbines. We've had enough. We're sick and tired of it. I believe Jack Ciattarelli's got the answers. He gives the right answers. He's got the guts. He wants to do it. All he wants to be is governor of New Jersey. He's not looking for anything else. I believe he's going to win. We're going to do everything we can to help him to win.
We have the electoral map from 2024 right here with President Trump doing great, getting nearly just shy of 2 million votes to 20 to win here with Kamala Harris. And this no doubt includes perhaps some criminal aliens voting, illegal voting. We've been covering many stories of illegal voting in New Jersey. The governor was bragging that he had illegals living in the governor's mansion in New Jersey. What an insane timeline. People are sick of this, right, Congressman?
They are sick of it. And I'm a little proud of that map that you have up there. I'm in the 2nd congressional district. It's the largest district in the state of New Jersey. In fact, it's larger than the entire state of Delaware, my district. And if you look at that big, huge chunk of red, except for one county in southern New Jersey, that's ours. We've been getting increasingly more Republican for the very reasons you're talking about. These isn't limousine Republicans. These aren't, in fact, the billionaires in the limos, that's the Democrats. These are working people. They're construction people. They're people that are using their hands. They're people, and they're also professionals, but they're people who've worked for a living and just hate to see this happening in New Jersey. We can do this. I really believe we can do this, and we're going to push hard.
You said something, Congressman, in your first answer. You said that President Trump got the most votes of any Republican in the history of New Jersey. Is that correct? Did I hear that correctly?
You heard that correctly. Absolutely. I'm not sure he knows that. I talk to him usually every week to 10 days, but I'm going to, tonight, when we do this town hall meeting, I'm going to bring that up because I know he's going to love that. Most in any Republican candidate in the history of the state of New Jersey. That is correct.
Wow. So Jack's going to pull it off. What do you think?
I think he's gonna. I think election day is gonna be huge. You gotta know there's certain things Democrats love. They love vote by mail. They love it. I mean, even when they don't need it, they're not sick, they're not out of town, they're not anything, but they vote by mail like crazy. So always in the vote by mail, it doesn't ever look as good for Republicans. I won by 17 points, 18 points. I was losing vote by mail. You don't count them. But the early voting on the machine and then election day. Election day is huge. This is going to be a big election day. I think it's queuing up. I think people are just cumulatively tired, like we said, sick and tired of it all. I didn't even give you the whole list, man. It just gets old. This government just here you go. 2035, everybody's supposedly got to drive a an electric automobile. They were trying for a while, Murphy and Mikey Sherrill and all them, they were against gas stoves and gas hot water heaters and gas heat. I mean, who are that? Let the American people, let New Jerseyans decide what kind of heat they want, what kind of automobile they want. If they want an electric car, great. I don't begrudge them that. That's fine. That's what America's about, free choices. But don't jam it down our throats. They love to jam down your throat things that you don't want because they're the government. They're better than you. They're smarter than you. You're going to listen, you're going to obey, and you're going to pay for it. Sick and tired of it.
Sick and tired of it. I think people are sick and tired of Barack Obama, frankly, coming in, parachuting in for like just a second or two to berate and humiliate and bark at voters and tell them what to do. This dude's moment's over, man. And people are, I think, starting to really see that there really was no magic there. It was just all manufactured. It's completely something that was a creation. Fugazi, it was put together by Hollywood and the corporate media. And you see that in some very pathetic Barack Obama moments, like when he sat there in Philadelphia trying to lecture black men about, how they have to support Kamala, right? Because she's a sister. This is it is one of the most remarkable and most humiliating clips I've ever seen. It was not received well, frankly, by the population that Obama was speaking to, young black men. Clearly, in the results of the election, obviously it backfired. But now Obama's in New Jersey. And I'm wondering if this is going to backfire. And this is my final question to you, Congressman. Here's Jack Citarelli commenting on Barack Obama parachuting into New Jersey, which is kind of amazing because you'd assume that this is a blue state, right? Like, this shows real desperation from Democrats. Let's listen.
Obama said you're sucking up to Trump.
Who said that?
President Obama.
President who?
Yes, exactly.
Your commentary, Congressman.
You know what I say about Obama? Seriously, and you're right once again, man. This was a Hollywood production when he ran. He had every major legacy media outlet, all the Hollywood stars. I mean, it literally was like a movie production. I mean, it was unbelievable. And people wanted to try something new and different. So yeah, folks voted for him. But then we found out where it led us. And you know what I say about him now? Now he doesn't quite have the Hollywood production around him all the time. He's a cranky, mean guy. I mean, who is he? So he's saying that if you happen to choose to be African American and be a conservative and vote for someone that Barack Obama, doesn't like, you're a bad man and you're letting down your race, your family, your country. How dare he say that? Again, that's what America's about. America's about choices and freedom. And he doesn't, no, you got to be, what he's saying is, you're black, you've got to vote Democrat, even if the Democrats screw you, even if the Democrats don't do a good job for you, you've just got to vote the way. You know what I say? We need to earn the vote of all our communities, every community that's out there in this country. Do a better job, work harder for them, and see that they, that life gets better. And the thing I talked about a lot in the black communities in my district, are things really better over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years? I mean, within, one little town, I'll tell you a quick story, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Atlantic City, New Jersey is predominantly African American. There are some other groups, many. We got Vietnamese, Bangladesh, all kinds of groups in there. It's in my district. But I was talking to some black folks, and they were saying to me, they remembered, they were older, back, in the 50s and 60s, where there were hundreds of thriving black businesses in New Jersey, and particularly in Atlantic City. Now, I'm not saying everything was perfect then, and there was prejudice, and there were things that need to be fixed. There always are. We're human. Even America, the greatest country on the earth, we still need to fix things. But there were all these business. There's none now. We try to make a society that's dependent upon public housing, that's dependent upon SNAP. SNAP it can be a really good thing and help people through tough times. It's not meant to be multi-generational. It's not meant to be great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, children. It's meant to be help you along, and then you do good, you succeed, you get an education, you get into a trade, and you're doing it on your own. They have not been, the black community, in my opinion, sincerely, has not been served well. It's been a detriment to their families and to their economic growth. And I think that they're starting to realize and understand that. But how dare Obama say, oh, you've got to vote this way, otherwise you're, I wouldn't even say, basically, but you're a useless human being. You're a bad man. You're not true to your race. You're not true to your color. Come on, let people make a decision for themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess, final question here, Congressman, since you were a Democrat and since you know Barack Obama and President Trump, perhaps you could elucidate for us the differences between the two of them. You just said that Barack Obama is a pretty nasty, mean, grumpy man. Is that being played out here?
And I didn't know him well, but I mean, I've met him obviously and was at the convention and all. And then, I was already starting to have doubts. Remember, I was always a conservative Democrat. There used to be Democrats believed in helping people, believed in doing the right thing, but were conservatives. They love their country. Here's the deal. The difference between President Donald Trump and Barack Obama. So many differences. I could spend an hour with you, but it all comes down to this. Donald Trump loves America. Donald Trump believes in Americanism. Donald Trump believes in American exceptionalism. Barack Obama believes in mediocrity and globalism. He believes, and so do many, many of the Democrats now. They don't love this feeling of, my God, America is a gift from God, the greatest country ever on the face of the earth. Nah, to them, America is the same as everybody else. They want us to be more like Europe. They want us to have that mediocrity. They don't want people to aspire to greatness and individuality. It's a really significant difference. And to be very serious for a moment, we're at a crossroads, not only in our state of New Jersey, but in the country, so importantly, in the United States of America. Some people said, gee, when Trump got elected and we got a Republican Congress, we're out of the woods. No, we are not. We're at knife's edge. We're just starting to peek into the woods, get our toe into the woods. They're so deep, so thick. If we're not careful, we can lose America. It's a big deal. We have to defy history here, which always says after a few hundred years that great countries fall and diminish. And America is such a great country and so unique. I don't want to see that. You don't want to see that happen.
No, we absolutely do not. We just thank you for your bravery, temerity, for switching, for following your constituents and the will of the people that you actually represent, which is amazing. The legal residents of New Jersey, and for making that bold switch, especially at a time when it was really quite politically fraught. I think that the Democratic Party has been weakened severely from an institutional and regulatory and cultural level, even since you made your switch, and they were very angry at you then.
May I say one thing?
Yes.
Just a little interesting factoid. I'm the only person in the history of Congress there's a few people that have switched over the years on and off through the decades and centuries, but the only person that ever went from the majority party at the time to the minority party. And I did that knowing full well what I did, but it's how strongly I felt, in my heart and soul about it. I really do. I'm a believer.
The great Congressman Jeff Van Drew from New Jersey, proudly representing this sweet boating culture, as you can see here in the top of his X profile. You should follow Jeff Van Drew. He's got tens of thousands of followers here on X, and you should be one of them. He's just one of these straight shooters who is, the rarest quality in all of Washington. Actually brave, and he listens to his constituents. That is the rarest thing you'll find in D.C. Jeff Van Drew is it. Godspeed, Congressman. Here's hoping for a great election night.
You're not kidding. We are. It's going to be a good night. Thank you for the work you do and bringing the truth out to all the people.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Ooh, man, I got to tell you, we've pivoted back to what Elon Musk has said about the SNAP benefits and the welfare fraud that is happening at scale in our nation. Elon Musk hopping on board a Joe Rogan podcast that dropped on Halloween, 3 hours, just randomly, but Elon Musk laying it out beautifully. Sorry for all my ranting and raving this morning. I do get quite upset about this because I view this as a civilizational survival question. You can't survive if you don't incentivize family creation and more Americans to have babies. If you don't say that the American dream is something you should buy into, why would anybody do it? Here's Elon Musk on that question.
Very important
fact that is actually not disputed by either side, which is that when we do the census in the United States, the way the census works for apportionment of congressional seats and electoral college votes for the president is by number of persons in a state, not number of citizens.
Right.
It's number of people. So you could literally be a tourist, and you will count.
Now, how do they do the census when they do that? Do they ask people? Do they knock on doors? Do they have them fill out forms? Like what?
Yeah, I think they mail out census forms and knock on doors. But the way the law reads right now, is that if you are a human with a pulse, then you count in the census for allocating congressional seats and presidential votes.
Right.
So, so
electoral college,
everything.
congressional seats, everything.
It doesn't matter whether you're here legally, illegally, and if you're a human with a pulse, you count for congressional apportionment. So that means that the more illegals that California and New York can import by the time the census happens in 2030, the more congressional seats they will have, and the more presidential electoral college votes they will have. So they're trying to get as many illegals in as possible ahead of the census.
Sorry, guys. Here we go. I needed to talk to Klein about something very, very special that we have for you right here. A box that I have just opened, and we will do an official unboxing on the program for something that I think will bring you great holiday delights this Christmas season and great holiday cheer. We have something very special and historic for you, and we are ready to show you for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, something we've been cooking up and working on, so we're excited about it. I muted myself so that Klein and I could coordinate this in a quick second while that clip played. Play me the Doge expert, please. That said that this is something that they found. So that we played you a Doge clip. ALX, just make sure that it's make sure that Klein's going to play the right clip here. It's the expert that was on stage talking with Elon Musk, but I'm not sure he was like really making his point sharp enough. ALX has found another clip of this individual, yes, on Fox. This is the man who's in charge of Doge, Social Security Doge, and talking about what the horrors that they found once they actually got to DC and got power. Let's go.
That's a jaw-dropping number. Where did all those people come from?
Well, it made my jaw drop too when I saw it. We were in Social Security looking for fraud, waste, and abuse, and to do that, we actually looked at the enumeration system, the system by which people get numbers in America, and we found that there were just about 5+ million of them that came to the country as illegals, were giving various forms of parole or allowed in the country, and they got through an automatic system, Social Security numbers, so they get into our benefit systems. And we tracked that through and found that they were on the benefit programs. And just because we were curious, we then looked to see if they were on the voter rolls. And we found in a handful of cooperative states that there were thousands of them on the voter rolls and that many of them had voted.
How many of your votes were canceled out by criminal aliens that are walking through grocery stores like this with thousands of dollars of free groceries? It's enough to make your blood boil. This entire system needs to be shut down. All of SNAP needs to be shut down today. It needs to be shut down permanently and force people to reapply under new rules. Rule number 1, you are not allowed to get any welfare benefits if you are not an American citizen, period. Stiff, real prison time for any criminal alien or any state agency or any state administrator that is found to be using the taxpayer dollars in order to fund criminal aliens living here in order to rig the census. And that's exactly what's happening. Same thing with voter fraud. And then you reopen SNAP with a work requirement. Obviously a case-by-case basis, but you have requirements that say if you are an able-bodied, young, single man or woman that you are required to go work, and that this is a supplemental program that stays supplemental. It's nutritional. You are not allowed to buy this crap. Look at all this junk. This ultra-processed garbage, dog food. Fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, ground beef. That's what you should be allowed to buy on SNAP, period. Eggs, maybe milk, and that's it. Learn how to cook for yourself. Learn how to feed yourself, and then make it limited. There should be a time allocation for how long you can actually be on this program. We played you a clip of a lady who's been on it for 30 years. She's thin, she's talking, she's of right mind, she's doing interviews, she's running around stores, she's totally able-bodied. She just wants to sit and do drugs all day. And the American taxpayer is paying for that. You cannot have that as a system. That can't be our system. So that's what must happen in order to fix SNAP, in order to fix EBT. It has to happen. Otherwise, people will not be part of the system. They won't buy in. Ladies and gentlemen, something that I have no idea if it's available on SNAP or EBT. I'm not going to ask. What I am going to say is that instead of those ultra-processed and disgusting chips, that you should try masa chips. Masa chips taste delicious, and they are delicious, and they are good for you because they use 3 ingredients. These are masa chips. These are the only chips allowed in my household, period. They have wonderful different flavors. Any type of chip that you like is a masa chip. But I'm telling you, guys, if you like a spicy chip or Dorito-style chip or a cinnamon-style chip, or if you like sort of the Vandy chip that they have, it's more of like a kettle chip, whatever you like. Dude, masa chips, make them with 3 ingredients: corn, salt, beef tallow. They're so good for you. They feel good when you eat them. My kids are obsessed with them. They're a sturdier chip, so it like doesn't break. And it also is more satisfying, so you're not just like snacking all day. Anyway, this is what it means to have good and real ingredients. We love Masa. We love the people who run this company, and we believe in their product because I use their product almost every single day. Give Masa a try right now. Go to masachips.com/Benny. Use code Benny for 25% off your first order. That's masachips.com/Benny. Use code Benny for 25% off. And if you don't feel like ordering online, Sprouts. Starting last month, now it's November, and available at your local Sprouts market. A lot of people have Sprouts markets around them. I do. Ladies and gentlemen, Masa chips. Okay. So, a very interesting and fun final notation here for the program. We are launching something really special. We're launching early this year. It is the first week of November, our Christmas store. Now, last year, we sold almost 60,000 ornaments with our classic American electoral map ornament. We decided we were going to double down. We decided this year we were going to freaking deck the halls with a brand new assortment suite of Trump-themed anniversary first year ornaments that are on brand and are locked in and are live at this very second right now on the program. And right here in this little box that Klein ran out to grab live during the show, hot off the presses, are our first run of Christmas ornaments. Now, let me make something extremely clear here as I show you these incredible pieces of art. I'll get some of them out right now. These are made in America. These are made by veterans. This is made by my buddy Ryan, who served his country honorably, lives right here in Tampa, has an amazing company right here. None of this was run through China. None of it was run through Guatemala. None of this is run through Mexico. None of this is made by criminal aliens. None of this is going towards our enemies that want to destroy our nation. All 100% manufactured, made, and created here in America by Americans, for Americans, and veterans. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't you want a J.D. Vance? Don't you want a little J.D. Vance? Climb, please cycle through on the side here. Don't you want a miniature J.D. Vance on your Christmas tree? And the final version of this will have the J.D. Vance Stay Please on the back. Don't you want that? Would you like that? How about the freedom flag, ladies and gentlemen? Our first run, the freedom flag, launching here on our first show in November. Would you like the official freedom flag? This should be sitting, chilling on your tree this year. A flag to honor, obviously, the sacrifice and the message of all of those who have given their lives for freedom in this country, including a man who gave the last full measure of devotion, Charlie Kirk. Look at this. Look at that. The Melania Trump. The legendary Melania Trump Christmas ornament. And every one of these will have a customized message on the back. Oh, this one is very special. The Peace on Earth Christmas ornament. I am unwrapping them and seeing them for the first time. It is a B-2 bomber wrapped in Christmas lights that says Peace on Earth, has a little Santa hat on. The B-2 bomber Peace on Earth Christmas ornament to be beloved by any member of your family that served in the American military. Don't you agree with Peace on Earth? Isn't this how you have peace on Earth? Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Unboxing the official 2025 version of the electoral map. And what we did last year was we did the states, blue and red states. What we're doing this year is actually the county by county, which is far more impressive. Shows you that Trump won 90% of American counties. And it also has a little Gulf of America labeling right there. You get your Gulf of America Christmas ornament. Ooh, baby. We have the President Trump flying over the border wall with Feliz Navidad hanging from the border wall. And that is aligned with our Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero with President Trump singing in a mariachi band. Another Feliz Navidad sombrero Hakeem Jeffries Christmas ornament. To trigger your lib friends, let's go. The Trump 2028 hat, why not? Why not? The Trump 2028 Christmas ornament hat. Come on, you want one of these. You want one of these rocking on your Christmas tree. Oh, man. Okay. This might be my actual favorite. Second favorite. The RFK don't. What is it? It's a candy cane holder. And it's RFK glaring at you, saying, don't you dare. Don't you dare eat that candy. Don't you freaking dare. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. And it's angry RFK glaring. Can we zoom in? It's very grumpy RFK. Don't you dare, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, there you go. You can hang the candy cane from it. Don't. Make a brand new game that says don't touch the candy cane. And of course, as an answer to the No Kings protest, there is a king, actually. And Christ is king. It's the Christ child. So actually, yes, king. No kings. That's not true. There is a king. Christ is that king. And we are celebrating his birth on Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all live now on the Benny store. They are all $5. How can you make things in America for $5? How can you actually manufacture such incredible stuff like this in America for $5? Well, you know what? You can. You don't have to go to China. You don't have to go to the third world, to people who hate us, to get great manufactured goods from people who love this country, to support your nation. Do we make any money off these? No, not really. I just want to bring Christmas cheer to you. I want to be able to support veterans and their businesses. I want to be able to have Christmas trees stacked with amazing ornaments that sort of give you a snapshot of the year and what that year brought us and how special some of these moments in time are. The JD Vance, I think the JD Vance as Santa, I think is going to work. I think this is going to kill. This is going to slay. I showed this to JD. I showed this and he was howling on the plane. Get ready. I'm going to put one on the White House, on the Christmas tree at the White House. Get ready. Get ready. $5. Same cost as it was last year. I'm not increasing my prices. I hate inflation. I refuse to engage in price gouging. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're being taken advantage of. And so I'm not going to do it. So we are making these in America. Not a single communist touched any of the manufacturing of these ornaments. And we're making them at cost. And we're shipping them to you. $5. Now, I'm not sure if it's live just yet because we're doing a full redesign. But what's going to happen is we have 12 ornaments here, 12 days of Christmas. 12 is a beautiful number around Christmas time. We're going to have a package deal where you can get something like all 12 of them, and it's like $50, and you get 2 for free, right, at that price point. So that's it. That's what we're going to do. So I hope that you scroll through here, Klein. I hope that you go on over to the Benny store and pick yourself up a ornament or two, or maybe all of them. The RFK one, I'm going to deliver this to RFK. I'm going to deliver one to HHS. I'm going to put it on the HHS Christmas tree. Don't. My kids are going to have a blast with us. They're going to eat the candy cane. They're going to do it. And we wanted to, you might say, well, it's just the 3rd of November, Benny. Why are you doing this? We wanted to open this up so that we have enough time, because we do manufacture them ourselves and we don't just like print them all in mass in China for 1 penny, right? We want to have enough time for our partner who we're going to go and do a full, I'm going to show you how we manufacture all these. We haven't filmed it just yet because these are fresh off the presses. I'm going to show you how we manufacture all these. I'm so proud that we do this in America. I'm so proud that we use veteran-owned company. I'm just going to stop talking about it right now. I'm just, as they sit before me, I'm just thrilled about it. And I hope that you will help us support veterans and help us bring some Christmas cheer and maybe some Christmas trolling to your liberal friends with some of these ornaments. So go now. Get them while they're hot, ladies and gentlemen. You can do it at the Benny Johnson store, bennyjohnson.com. Link in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, peace on earth, goodwill towards men. Christ is king. And we're going to win. Very, very excited. Very excited about our new Christmas store. Maybe we should make our own like little segment, Klein, and we'll do like a ticker for how many of these we've manufactured. I'm very excited about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Which one do you like the most? Which one do you like the most? I got to be honest. I don't know. I'm partisan. I don't know. This one's so good. You give this to your lib neighbor. Oh man. And then this with the Gulf of America. This with the Gulf of America built in. Oh, it's nice. And if you got any fashionistas in your family, give them the Melania with their hat. Ah, come on. Hang it from the tree, baby. Hang it proudly. Live now. Let's go. All right, so we have big elections tomorrow. We're going to be premiering a brand new segment on the show here. The Poly Market. Check the polls. Let's freaking go. New York City mayor, what's happening? New York City going communist? Let's see. Yikes, dude. It's never looked worse for Andrew Cuomo right now. Zoran Mandami, 94%. Whew. Cuomo at 6. That's not good, but we've known that for a very, very long time. New Jersey governor, we were talking about that race today. Let's check in, shall we? It looks right now that Mikey Sherrill has an 88% chance of winning. Obviously, there is a large voter advantage for Democrats in the state of New Jersey, voter registration. And we'll see what happens. You know that we're huge fans of Jack Citarelli. And so, but he's sitting right now at 13%. These are just the betting odds. Okay, we'll see. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. Virginia governor. Let's check in. Abigail Spanberger and Winsome Sears. You have 99% versus 2%. This has been one that the Republican has been behind in a very, very, very long time for the entire race, effectively. But we'll see. Again, it's 99% versus 1%. Again, Virginia, one of those places that so much of the population are feds, affected by mass layoffs, and they're bitter and angry. You pack so many of these USAID people into one state, into Northern Virginia, and it's been able to swing that state from a dark red state to now a very, very purple state. We'll see what happens. Virginia Attorney General race. Now, this is something that has changed drastically because Jay Jones, somebody, you can see the flip there. Jay Jones was the favorite, but then collapsed after we found out that he wanted to murder Republicans and their children. So now Jason Miyares is on top, 57% versus 43%. So what'll happen next? I don't know. But here's hoping for that one. If this is the case, if Jay Jones is able to pull off a victory here, it's going to be very, very bad for a Republican. Democrat nominee for 2028. What's it looking like? Democrat nominee, Gavin Newsom, up top. AOC, though, is next. And John Ossoff, Kamala Harris is destroyed at 5%. Gavin Newsom is the buy there. And then AOC, goodness gracious. You can have a Gavin Newsom AOC ticket. What a mess. Yeah, Zoran Mandami is polling in there. And then for the Republican nominee, let's check here. Obviously, you're going to have Vance up at the top, Marco Rubio, but then Donald Trump's still polling at 5% for his third term. And that's why we got the ornament set up and ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is our Poly Market. Check the markets and check the polls. Very, very good. Very spicy. Something that we're going to keep through 2026 for sure and on, because Poly Market's just like been on fire, right? They had Trump. You were listening to them, man. They had Trump. Trump as a buy on election night. Them and us. Never believed any of the fake polls. All right, let's go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as we sign off here for today, and we have again, a very busy week. We hope that you will join us in Auburn. We'll be live in Auburn, a big stadium event with Eric Trump and with Laura Trump on Wednesday. So we very much look forward to vision casting, to announcing and breaking some news in this speech. Not going to be bringing the Christmas ornaments, I don't think. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll give out a bunch of these. The crowd. Who doesn't want a J.D. Vance Christmas ornament? Maybe that's what I'm going to give out. Charlie flung MAGA hats, but maybe I'll just give out. I mean, I don't want to hit people with these, a little piece of plastic. Maybe maybe you don't throw these, right? You don't hurt anyone. But yeah, maybe that's what we do. Maybe I just bring like 1,000 of the little J.D. Vance Santa Clauses. We'll see. We'll see. It is the golden era. Anything can happen. I love the name The Golden Era, mainly because I like investing in gold. My friends at Advantage Gold do take care of me. That is for certain. Fed has just cut rates, and the odds are that they're going to continue to cut rates all the way through this year, next year, and the year after that. What that's going to do is going to free up the money supply, and this is going to obviously make your dollar worth less the more that they print of them, and make gold worth more and precious metals worth more. So don't let the Fed gamble with your future. Lock in and get the 2025 gold and silver report right now from Advantage Gold. Text Benny to 85545 right now. That's Benny to 85545. Do it today and get your free copy of the 2025 gold and silver report before the Fed's next move sends metals higher. Text Benny to 85545 to protect your savings and secure your future. Gold and silver. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a golden Christmas season. Look forward to that. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh, right? I give you gold every single day with our verse of the day. Here we go. Store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where moth and vermin do not destroy it, and where thieves do not break in and steal. That's exactly right, man, from Matthew 6:20. Especially in this holiday season, make sure that you are focused on what? Christ is king. Yes, there is a king. Yes, yes, king. Actually, not no kings. Yes, king. Christ is king. And ensure that you remember that the best that we can do here on this earth is the treasure of our families, our children, and to ensure a future for them. And that's the best that we can do. And so we're going to pursue that goal, preserve this nation for our American children, and that is going to be the agenda of this program. We're so thrilled to fight with you every single day. And ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, in the end, we win. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Sorry, honey. We can't afford that this week. I'll try to save more.
Got the top gone and the gold chain swinging. Pockets stay deep like the beat I'm bringing. Rolling with the hurt, yeah, the ghost stay blinging. Sun in my face while the bass line singing.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.